Hi guys, Maikeru here. This is my loot from 50 Trio Elite Dungeons. This video is just going to be taking a look into the loot, explaining a couple of things with the relics and talking about lucky charms and stuff like that. If you do need help with the mechanics of the bosses or whatever and you want to try it with friends, I do have a day of release video in the description that goes through the mechanics of each boss and stuff like that. This will be purely about loot, so let's get into it. There is a new reward shop at the bottom of the Amanishi Island. You can take a look here, and on the first page there's loads of cosmetics you can redeem. They look kind of cool and they cost Dungeoneering tokens. And then on the second page it's all about consumables. You got some Death Lotus extract which makes Death Lotus starts tier 88. You can get a teleport to Amanishi, which I don't really see a point in because your Arc Journal can take you pretty much on the docks. And then obviously Max Skill takes you there anyway. You can get an Uncharted Isle map for 15,000 Dungeoneering tokens, and you can get a lucky charm for 10k Dungeoneering tokens. I spent all of my Dungeoneering tokens on these lucky charms as they can be consumed and they give you a lot of extra money while doing the dungeons. They can give you really good stuff like Onyx Dust, Serenic Scales, Ancient Scales, and more good things that the dungeons have to offer, like upgrade kits. One of your lucky charms vanishes, you receive 1 ancient scale. One of your lucky charms vanishes, you receive 4 onyx dust. Easy life. Before every boss, it's always useful to toggle your chest so that the loot falls on the floor. It's like the Sophonem Slayer chest where the loot falls on the floor, it has a chance to be doubled. It's 20% in Sophonem, so I'm guessing it's the same chance here. So whenever you do a boss, it gives a chance of that boss drop being doubled, which is really helpful. It's so nice toggling my chests off because I got a double fish drop. This fish skips the first boss and can be very useful. Nice. So I got 5 dust from my lucky charm, 10 dust from the boss, and the 10 dust got doubled, so I got 25 dust from the boss. I got the pet. I honestly can't believe I got the pet this quick. Between my trios, I was testing out a bit of solo loot, and on my second solo I've got the pet, and I think this gives me the title as well when I redeem it. Oh, I redeemed it and it gave me the title. Legit, like, already got the title. There we go. It is Acolyte of Seiryu. It has a very nice colour to it. It's similar to the Blood Chiller. Not a bad title at all. So, according to the price check of this, I have 56 million GP in my chest from these 50 kills. I've done some lucky charms to get the Serenic Scales, a couple of the upgrade kits, and some Onyx Dust that I've got in the bank. I also got really lucky with a Seiryu's Claw. This is used to make the Mizuari, which is the tier 85 spear. I believe that's like 10 mil right now. You do need 5,000 chimes to make it because it's 5,000 chimes for the Fang, but I've got 20,000 chimes in this chest alone. Then there's 20 Taijutsu, which is really cool as well. So if you're farming stuff in the Arc shop, you can get chimes and Taijutsu just doing this. So this really helps you on your way. I got lots of common, uncommon, and some rare Amanishi relics as well. I'll speak in more detail about these relics in the next slide. And I like what Runescape's done with these because you can alch them or disassemble them, and they're both good options. Other than that, it's just loads of random stuff that add up. I do have some suspicious gunpowder as well. This is pretty much a hand cannon that can't be traded. It gives you 7 explosive components when you disassemble it. And I've got some rare drop table from my Luck of the Dwarves. I've got 51 rune bars, 51 uncut dragon stones. So 56 mil for this. Also the Seiryu's Claw. If you take out the GP it costs to alch these things, and then a couple of things probably not selling at mid, I've made at least 60 mil with the claw included, and possibly up to 65 mil. I'll take that any day. That's just in this loot. So now let's have a look at the Onyx Dust and the Scales that I got as well. So when it comes to what I had in my bank, I had some Onyx Dust and some Scales. You can turn these Onyx Dusts into actual Onyxes. It's 100 dust and some incandescent energy, and you can turn it into an Onyx. And then I've got 2 Scales that dropped on the floor when I didn't have my chest banking stuff with lucky charms. So in total, that's about 47 mil in these 2 things and about 60 to 65 mil in the other one. This means I've made over 100 mil and up to 110 mil just in these things. I also got 45 ancient scales. It really helped whenever I got like a drop of 3 and it was doubled because the chest being toggled off on bosses is really helpful. So it says these are worth 798k each, but they're not worth anywhere near that. Currently, they're selling for about 250k, but if you sell them in bulk, you can sell them for a little bit higher. But for argument's sake, say that I sold them for 250k each, that's about 12 mil. So in total, I've made about 120 mil from this content in these 50 kills. So the price check of the energy and the dust for the onyxes was 42,367,000 GP. If I can sell these 16 onyxes for more than this, it's always going to be worth doing. So it requires 97 divination, you turn a 250 energy and 100 dust into an onyx. I managed to insta-sell an onyx for 2,656,000 GP. So if I was to insta-sell the onyxes, they sell for a tiny bit more than the mid-price of the energy and the crushed onyxes. So if I was to insta-sell all the onyxes, I could get probably about 300k more GP. But if I just left them in at mid, they will definitely sell because it's only 50k more. But 50k more on 16 onyxes is 800k. So I'm going to be profiting about a mil if I just leave them in at mid and let them sell. So what are those relics that were in my chest and my price check? There are 3 different types of relics that drop, all rarer than the previous tier. You've got the common relic, which high alchs for 4,999 GP or disassembles for 3 components. The uncommon, which high alchs for 25,000 and disassembles for 9 components. And the rare ones that high alch for 1 million and they disassemble for 21 components. 3 of those components are guaranteed to be rare and oceanic. The other 18 are completely random other than those 3 oceanic from the rare one. So you either alch these or disassemble them depending on what you want to use them for. I'll leave a link in the description to the Wikia page for each of these relics, and it goes into detail of each thing that these can give when they're disassembled. So it shows you every single component that they can give. These are really awesome because I put them in my alchers and then they passively alch over time. If you use your invention machine and you have the high tier alcher, it costs 580 GP an alch. This means you're making 4,400 GP for high alch in the common, you're making 24.5k alch in the uncommon, and you're making nearly a mil alch in that rare one. They can just alch over time while you're continuing to do more dungeons or anything like that, so it's really useful using your invention machines if you have them as alchers on these. Sitting there alching them is going to take a long time, but if you're passively doing it with the machines, it makes it so this is really good money to alch. I just headed over to my alchers, chucked all my relics in there, and then just left them in there for like a day and a half for them all to alch for a nice amount of GP. I also had 10 of the rare ones, which are worth 1 mil each, so I just hand alched all of those and got 10 mil in those ones alone. When it comes to the loot breakdown, I could do 3 to 4 dungeons an hour depending on the group I was going with. You want to try to have 1 ranger with chins and the other 2 using mage preferably. You can use a melee or you can have 2 rangers, but you definitely want 1 major for Vuln and you definitely want 1 chinner for extra AoE. The third person can kind of go wherever he wants, but at least have 1 ranger and 1 major. The 50 trio dungeons took me 14 hours, which worked out as an average of about 3.6 dungeons cleared an hour. The loot in total, after I sold and alched it all with my machines, was 122,652,000 GP. My machines managed to alch all of my stuff within a day and a half, so it was pretty quick as well. The average hourly rate for this would have been the equivalent of 8.76 million GP an hour. Getting nearly 9 mil GP an hour with this content is really good in a trio. You got to remember that solo's even better money than trio. The reason why I started with trio is because it's easier and more fun in my opinion, so I wanted to do this loot video first. I will be doing a loot video on solo as well sometime, and I'll be doing a guide on solo in the dungeons as well, because people seem to want to see solo content and a guide on how to effectively do it. But all in all, 8.7 mil an hour for this new content with some decent Dungeoneering XP, combat XP and enjoyment. I'm very happy with this new update and this new way of training Dungeoneering. If you're skipping all of the mobs and you're going straight for bosses and stuff, you're not going to get the most Dungeoneering XP. But if you did want to get Dungeoneering XP, you can just kill the mini-bosses in the first room and reset over and over again. I believe that's around 400 to 500k Dungeoneering experience as well. So this content can be good XP and GP, and you can really mix it up how you want to do it. Let me know in the comments down below if you do want to see anything in particular with this new content. like I said, I'm going to do some soloing, so I'll probably do a solo guide and another loot video on solo kills. If there's anything else you guys do want to see, let me know. Hopefully this video was enjoyable. Give it a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're new for loads of future content all related to RuneScape 3. And until next time, see ya.